John Wick Chapter 4 is 2023 American neo-noir action thriller film, directed and co-produced by Chad Stahelski and written by Shea Haddon and Michael Finch. The sequel to John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum and the fourth installment in the John Wick franchise, the film stars Keanu Reeves as the title character. In New York City, John Wick prepares to exact vengeance against the High Table while hiding underground with the Bowery King. He travels to Morocco and kills the Elder, the one who sits above the table. In response, the Marquis Vincent Bisset de Gramont, a High Table member, summons New York Continental Hotel manager Winston and his concierge Caron. The Marquis explains that the High Table has given him unlimited resources to kill John Wick. He chastises Winston for failing to assassinate John. As punishment, the Marquis strips Winston of his managerial duties, declares him excommunicado, destroys the New York Continental, and executes Caron. The Marquis then enlists Kane, a blind, retired high-table assassin, to kill John, his old friend, threatening to murder Kane's daughter otherwise. John takes refuge at the Osaka Continental, run by his friend Shimazu Koji. The Marquis' second-in-command Chidi, backed by High Table assassins and Kane, arrives to investigate the hotel. Koji's daughter Akira, the hotel's concierge, evacuates the hotel just before the High Table deconsecrates it, igniting a melee when Koji and his men come to John's defense. John fights through waves of armored assassins, leading to a showdown against Kane. Mr. Nobody, a bounty hunter, interrupts their fight and facilitates John's escape after determining the bounty for killing John to be insufficient. A wounded Koji repeatedly attacks Kane on John's behalf. Kane reluctantly kills Koji and spares Akira. John returns to New York and meets with the vengeful Winston at Caron's graveside. Winston advises John to invoke an old High Table tradition to challenge the Marquis to a duel. Winning will free John of all obligations to the High Table, but he can only request a duel on behalf of a crime family. He travels to the Berlin, headquarters of the Ruska Roma crime syndicate, with whom he had severed ties, to request readmission. His adoptive sister Katya stipulates that for readmission John must kill Killer Harkan, a High Table member who murdered her father. John comforts Killer at the nightclub. Kane and Mr. Nobody assist John against Killer's henchmen when a fight breaks out. John ultimately kills Killer and regains his status. Winston relays John's formal challenge to the Marquis. Acting as John's second, Winston requests that the New York Continental be rebuilt, with him reinstated as manager should John win. In Paris, John and the Marquis decide on the duel parameters, dueling pistols, at sunrise, the following day at Sacré-Cœur, in a meeting moderated by the Harbinger, the table's emissary. The Marquis nominates a reluctant Kane to take his place. John and Winston will be executed should either fail to appear on time. The Bowery King arrives in Paris to give John a pistol and a new ballistic suit. The Marquis intends to prevent John from arriving at the duel in time by placing a 26 million bounty on him. John fights off odds of assassins on his way to Sacré-Cœur, including Mr. Nobody, who negotiates a bounty increased to 40 million. During their confrontation, John prevents Chidi from killing Mr. Nobody's dog, causing a stunned Mr. Nobody to abandon his pursuit on John. After Kane and Mr. Nobody assist John in fighting off several assassins, including Chidi, whom Mr. Nobody kills, on the Rue Feuilleteer, they reach the summit just in time for the duel. John and Kane wound each other through 2 rounds of dueling. The third round comes to a halt when Kane severely wounds John. Demanding the right to administer the coup de grâce, the Marquis urgently swaps places with Kane. Winston chides the Marquis for his arrogance, revealing that John has not yet fired his third bullet. John shoots and kills the Marquis. The Harbinger grants Kane and John their freedom for the High Table, and Winston is reinstated. After collapsing on the staircase, John reflects upon his life and marriage before succumbing to his injuries. Sometime later, back in New York, Winston and the Bowery King bid farewell to John at his grave, located next to that of his late wife Helen. In a post-credits scene, Kane returns to Paris to reunite with his daughter, but is approached by the vengeful Acura, who brandishes a knife. Hey guys, by now you know what to expect from a John Wick movie. I thought the franchise was losing a little momentum in Chapter 3, so I was worried this could be disappointing. It's not. It's even more on steroids than any Wick before. Even close to 3 hours, it doesn't feel too long, which is very special for an action movie. This franchise has to set new standards. If anybody says a movie is good like John Wick, it's better there. The set pieces, as everyone mentioned before, are really insane this time. The Tokyo scene with illuminated cherry blossoms was beautiful. The only super illogical thing that bothered me was that nobody flinched at the nightclub. Eventually they did, but after a whole 10 minutes beat down through the whole club, but then it's a shady nightclub for high table people. If you liked the first 3 movies, get your ass to cinema.